Well, hello, how are you guys doing? Real quick, just before we start, I just wanted to, I'm sure Coach is probably going to do this, I just want to give a shout out to Pat Bryant, right? Obviously, he broke a couple records, he set a couple records. I think that's so cool, because, we're in a society right now where when young people don't play early or experience success early, they have a tendency to either transfer or leave or think that they can be in a better situation. And all that young man did, right, was just grind, right? He embraced the struggle, right? We try to protect these young people from struggle, when in reality, struggle is going to help them be that much better down the road. And just a testament to that young man, his work ethic. It's been such a pleasure competing against him on the defensive side of the ball. I'm sure our guys on defense enjoy competing against him, but like just to see the work that he put in with many other guys, right? He had every opportunity to early on in his career not getting as many balls because he felt that he was really talented. We obviously felt he was talented as well, but his time came, and ultimately, right, like you saw the kind of culmination of that, right, as things have kind of progressed throughout the season. So didn't want to belabor the point. I know he's an offensive guy, but I just wanted to, I think it's really, really important that we continue to stress the factor of like young men are going to go through adversity early in their careers, and just like really understanding when you face adverse times, right? Just keep fighting, man. And I think that's a testament to who that young man has been. So
your third down sub package.
Yes, sir.
My own curiosity, what is it called? And two, what went into it and what led to its success?
Well, I think part of it is, I think Coach alluded to it already. We were just trying to find, like, how can we get players on the field that maybe haven't played as much, and get just some speed on the field. So we were trying to take the culmination of a couple things, right? The package is called Dime. It's just called Dime. We have a NASCAR package, we have a Dime package, and we were just trying to find the most athletic, right, and the fastest, and guys who they may not play that many snaps on early downs, but you can find a role for them and they can embrace that role, right? So when they hear this sub package call, right, they know it's going to be called at some point in time in the game, and they're excited about their opportunity. And we just try to look at the roster as a whole and like who can we put out there who we know we can rely on, right? Who we know is tough, smart, and dependable, and is going to execute their job. Right, and just give them opportunity, especially as we progress, throughout the course of the season. And so I do take full credit for putting Kanena Odeluga on that unit. I take credit for him and Malachi. Right, we all have votes as a D staff, and I take full credit. I pulled the coach coordinator's cap on those two cats, and I will say Coach J-Mo had the brilliant idea to end up putting them inside for whatever reason. Coach J-Mo has great foresight, and he had a vision to put him inside, and we just tried to utilize his ability, and we felt good about some matchups, and we just kind of progressed from there.
Aaron, one of those guys that played a little bit more on Saturday is Gentle Hunt, and I'm curious how you were able to keep him engaged after him being one of the better players in the SWAC, and then him not being able to see the field early on in his career or his season here at Illinois.
Yes, sir. And I know for every young man, right, when they have that kind of transition, that experience, right, it's a different level of ball, right? It's a different level from a mental standpoint, right? Making sure they can consistently understand what we're trying to do. But one thing that I will display about Geno is like he always came in to work. Like he never complained. He always had a smile on his face. Right, and as frustrated as it may have been for him, right, because he's naturally a competitive kid and a competitive young man, like he embraced the opportunity when his name was called and we decided to create this package, and so that's a testament to the work he's put in, right? We know that it may not have happened for him as fast as he would have probably have liked and we would have liked, but I think ultimately, right, you try to find roles for players who can help you, right? Geno did some things throughout the course of the last couple of weeks, right? That was just like screaming, we have to find a way in some capacity to get this dude on the field, right? Whether that's giving somebody a break or blow, right? Whether it's a third down package, we have to find a way in some capacity to get this dude on the field. And Coach J-Mo, right, brilliantly as he always kind of puts it, right? He found like intricate ways, that being the third down package, to make sure, right, to get them on, because we wanted to create a package where we just had some more speed out there, some guys who we felt can create some havoc, whether it was from a speed standpoint, from a pass rush standpoint. And he has shown that, man. He had a one-on-one last week. It was the final rep of one-on-ones. It was absolutely ridiculous. And the guys went like, we were in Skelly, and we were on one side of the field, and the one-on-ones was on the other side of the field, and the guys like went crazy like during the course of practice, you know. And so just the energy that he brings, right? Like a lot of people feed off of Gentle. He doesn't talk much, it doesn't say much. He has a smile that can light up a room, but like the energy he brings from the way in which he plays, the guys kind of feed off of it. So it was good to see him out there running around.
Pretty high snap count for Jaheim Clark. What has he done to kind of earn that bigger role, and how did he grade out?
Yes, sir. So I mean, you guys had a chance to see it over the course of the last couple of weeks, right? Like he's just progressively gotten better and better, right? We did a really good job in just trying to, you know, as kind of the season went on, right? Not really try to throw him into the fire early, but just kind of let him work his way throughout the season. And his role has steadily grown, right? With the dependability factor with him on special teams as well. And so it's just been really, really cool to kind of see his growth. But what went into that was just every day in practice, right? Every day in practice, he just displayed things and did things. And, you know, as coaches, I always tell our guys, right, give me confidence to put you in the game, right? Give me confidence that you know what you're doing. And Ja just, I mean, that young man's future is extremely bright, you know, and for him to be like that next up rotational DB for us, and he started for us on the dime package, right? He was one of those young players who wanted to make sure we had a role. He was going to play on early down package as well, and he just progressively got better. You know, I thought he could have had a pick the week before and a pick this past week, but it's just like at the top of the, you know, we spoke in depth about it. Me, him, and Coach Parker just at the top of the route, right, getting ready to always go to the man, right, and then transitioning your eyes once you get out of the break. But he's like right there, right. And I watched Devin Witherspoon, right, year one we were together, right, be right there, and then ultimately those right there plays turn into interceptions. So I know it's gonna happen for him, right, but he's one of those young players that you just continue to kind of funnel and get plays for, and just watch his growth, and he's grown massively throughout the course of this year. Just really excited about his progression and where he's at now.
And what do you think of James Cruz, and did he find a way to kind of harness some of his James Cruzeness?
Yeah, man, absolutely. You know, like I told you guys last week, obviously with the loss of Rosie, right? You don't replace Rosie, right? But you find complements within your roster. Not just outside of James. I mean, Ryan Mead may have had his best game today. You know, he had a hell of a game, but like, you know, like there's a little bit of freedom in trying to allow James. I know James is completely different than Rosie, right? And I know James, right, like he's going to do some different things, and I have to put him in an advantageous position, right? Like every Friday night before the game, you know, I'll bring our starters up specifically, especially we had James Cruz first start, Mac Resettage first start. We had a bunch of guys out there getting their first start, and I just went up to those guys like in a hotel and asked them like what's your favorite call, right? What's your favorite call, or what call are you thinking about that's going to make you think a little bit? And I just try to eliminate those calls, right, and completely take those calls off my call sheet, because the last thing I want them doing is out there thinking. And so just to see James's growth, right, like we always tell our guys like everybody has to be ready, right? You saw KO get out there, you saw Malachi Hood get out there, right? Like Czar, you saw Luke Zarzan. All our guys are going to play, right? We're at that point in time during the course of the season where we got a lot of guys, right? Guys throughout the country are getting banged up, and so everybody's going to play, and so it's just rotating them, making sure everybody's fresh. Had a bunch of D linemen going to the game. You saw all kind of faces in the secondary, and so just making sure guys are ready, right, when their opportunity occurs. And James Cruz was one of those guys. He was more than ready. Obviously, with every player, right, we got stuff to clean up, but I love where he is. I love his progression. I love what Coach Arch is doing with that room. It's so cool. Him and Coach Coach Grant. So it's been really cool watching him grow.
What stood out to you about Mac? You know, replacing Miles, made some key tackles, and Matt Bailey seems to be progressive too. What did you see from your team?
Yeah, man. I mean, those guys are playing at a really high level. You know, I had on my notes. We always have post-game notes, and I told Coach, right, like Mac Resettage was probably the only one that can tackle 8 jobs, man. I mean, he had, I think, 3 tackles against the network. Like, I mean, Mac has just got progressively better. I'm sure Coach will allude to it, but Mac was one of our MVPs on defense. He led the defense in tackles at his first career start, right? That's a kid from Spring Valley, Illinois, who nobody knows about, right? Watch him go play high school basketball, and he's an absolute freak, right? And see him run around and move around, and like it was no surprise to me, right? Like he's just gotten progressively better, right? And I knew, and I told Miles this, right? Like the expectation in our room, like there is no drop off. I don't care who's in the game. Like there is, I know Miles is out, right? But there is no drop off. The same way I get out there on Miles Scott's ass, I do the same with Mac, right? And so like that's just the premise and how we do things and how we operate, and they love it, right? They love it. Matt Bailey, like you said, is playing at a really high level, right? He had a couple plays I wish I had back, but like just to see his intentionality, the way he's communicating with the guys across the board, I mean, it's so refreshing. You know, he obviously is taking a leadership role, especially with bringing some of the young DBs up, but like his growth, right, from where he was, this is his first year truly starting, you know, and just continue to embrace that role. He understands his job description. He's done it at a really, really high level, and just really excited about the growth of our young players and watching them be able to have success as they're running. So
What's unique about the
Still
Rutgers
finish up
offense?
with that one.
Are they similar to any of the previous 10 teams that you scouted?
yeah, I think what's similar about them, you know, we face some really, really good running backs. The Kyle Manung guy he's a different cat, man. He's really special, right? He's obviously going to be a challenge for us for what they asked that young man to do. The quarterback obviously was at Minnesota, and obviously is at Rutgers now. He does a phenomenal job in their offense. He doesn't make any mistakes, right? He's very, very efficient in the throw game. But you know, like I'm watching on tape, and I can't help but see Kyle Manunga back there with number 5, and the first thing that popped in my mind, being from South Florida, and Immokalee, is Edrin James. I see that number 5 back there, right? He runs with a forward lean a little bit, right? He has great contact balance, right? He's a one-cut guy. He can make anybody miss, and the power and the speed and how nimble he is on his feet, right? Like that cat is a problem, right? And I can see why they've been running him like they've been running him, just because of like he makes their offense that much better when he's running at that clip, you know. And so it's obviously a tall task, right? They do some really good things from an offensive standpoint, right? Especially when they're able to feed him, and they got some gigantic receivers on the outside who can run a little bit, right? Like that's obviously Jersey through and through, right? Got a lot of respect for Coach Shiano and how he runs his program. Obviously, I used to work at Rutgers, so I know exactly what kind of kids are in that building, right? Some tough, hard-nosed kids, very similar to this place. And so we are really excited about the opportunity and really looking forward to getting up there and playing them.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you guys.